Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Terry in 10 minutes. So we're going to be solving equations with logarithm. We're going to solve more questions here just so that we can solidify the concept already learned. So please, before you come to this video, make sure you've reviewed the logarithm laws, the exponential function laws. Make sure you review quadratic equation, how to solve quadratic equation. And also make sure you review simultaneous equation as well. I've talked about simultaneous equation. I have a video on simultaneous equation, the elimination method, and the substitution method as well. So I have video on that. So please go back, have a look, and try as much as possible to make sure you understood that before coming to this video. All right. So we'll go straight to solve this. So this is going to be for part 4. All right. And also, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. All right. And if you've not clicked notification bell, I don't know what you're waiting for. Do click it. So when I post new videos, you'll be the first person to know. All right, let's start. The first example we have here, we have log. Let me write number 1, so it'll be easy. So we have log of x to base 5 is equal to minus 0.3. All right. And we are told to find x. So we're going to convert this to index to logarithm. So this is log 13. All right. So this is going to become x. It's going to become 5 raised to the power minus 0.3. And when you press your calculator for this, it's going to give you 0.617. All right. Good. So this is just a warm-up question, all right? We're just warming up. So number 2 now, all right? We have 15 minus log 2, 3y is equal to 9.7, all right? So we're looking for y. So the question is to find y, all right? We need to find y. So like I always say, you can pause the video, pause it, try and solve it, then come back and play it and see if you get the same answer like me. Or if you're struggling, don't worry, come back as well, press play, and you can check as well. So similarly, I'm going to take this log to the other side and bring that to this side. We're going to have 15 minus 9.7 is equal to log 3y to base 2, all right? 15 minus 9.7, that will give you 5.3. So that means we're going to have log 3y is equal to 5.3. So converting log to index. So we're going to apply law 13. That's the law to index law. So you're going to become 3y, 2 raised to power 5.3 is going to be equal to 3y. So 3y is going to be 2 raised to power 5.3. Then you divide both sides by what? 3. And therefore y is going to be what? 2 raised to power 5.3 divided by what? 3. And the answer you're going to get should be 13.1. And that will be the answer for y. Okay, so let's step it up a bit now. Okay, let's step it up a bit now. Number 3. Now let's have this question. We have log 7 x squared plus x minus 6, and we have it is equal to 3 plus log 7 x squared plus 4x plus 3. All right. I want to solve this. So I want to apply the same law, index law here. So I'm going to take, you can apply several laws. You can apply law 14, equivalent law if you want to, where you can break this down to be log 7 to the power 3 base 7 and stuff like that. But like I always say, so far you're using the right law, you should get the same answer, all right? But for this now, what we can do is I'll apply law 13. The reason why I'm trying to be consistent with the index to logarithm law because of one of the questions I'm going to solve very soon. So I want us to practice the index to logarithm law. So you can pause this video, try and solve this question. And when you come back, you play it and see if you get the same answer like I will get. All right. So let's go. So I'm going to take this to the other side. So it's going to have log 7 x squared plus x minus 6 minus log 7 x squared plus 4x plus 3 is equal to what? 3. All right. Then I'm going to apply the division law here. So we're going to have log 7 into x squared plus x minus 6 divided by x squared plus 4x plus 3 is equal to 3. So this is the log under law 2, division law. All right, so we talked about this earlier. So division law. So you can go back and have a look. Then the next part is that I'm going to apply the index law. All right, law 13. So I'm going to apply the index law here. So we're going to, let me take this out of the way. So we're going to have 7 raised to the power 3 is equal to all this. So that means we have x squared plus x minus 6 divided by x squared plus 4x plus 3 is equal to 7 raised to the power what? 7 raised to the power 3. So this is the law 13 on that logarithm. So you can go back and have a look at this law, the law that I applied here. So we can then simplify. You can now break this down. So I can go to a new page. So we have x squared plus x minus 6 divided by, what's the other one? X squared plus 4x plus 3. So we have it as x squared plus 4x plus 3 will be equal to 7 raised to the power 3 is the same thing as 343, right? So I'll write it as 343. Now I can simplify this by factorizing. So I'm going to factorize the numerator because I'm going to use trinomials when a is equal to 1. I'm going to look for 2 numbers that I'm going to multiply. That'll give you minus 6, and I'll add, I'll give you plus 1. And that will be x plus 3 and x minus 2. So please make sure you go back and have a look. Okay, please try as much as possible that you've reviewed my videos on quadratic equation on how to factorize, how to use the formula method and the complete the square method as well. So I'll look for 2 numbers that I'm going to multiply. That will give me 3, and I'll add, that will give me 4, and that is 3 and 1. So it's going to be x plus 3 and x plus 1. Are you seeing it? Equal to 3, 4, 3. So that means x plus 3 can cancel x plus 3. Then we now have x minus 2 over x plus 1 is equal to what? 3, 4, 3. Then to get rid of this x plus 1, I'm going to multiply both sides by what? X plus 1. I'll multiply both sides by x plus 1 to get rid of this one. So this will cancel that. So we now have x minus 2 is going to give us 343 x plus 1. Now, like I told you, we have a, b plus c. So a times b will give us what? ab. And a times c will give us what? ac. So we're going to have x minus 2 is equal to 343x plus 343. Collect like terms together. Let me clean this. We'll collect like terms together now. So we're going to have x minus 343x is equal to 343 plus 2. And we now have x minus 343 is going to give us minus 342x is equal to 343 plus 2 will give you 345. Divide both sides by minus 342. You look for x, minus 342. And therefore, x is going to give us 345. Sorry, minus 345. Minus 345 over what? 342. And you can, if you want to simplify it, it's the same thing as saying minus 115 over what? 114. And if you want it in decimal, it's going to be minus 1.009 if you press your calculator. And that will be the answer for that. All right. So now let's take it a step higher now. All right. We want to apply simultaneous equation. All right. So logs can have simultaneous equation. So let's assume we have this. So log of y to base x is equal to 2. And we have xy is equal to what? 27. Okay, so we have, let's call this is the first equation, and this is the second equation here. All right, so what you do, we can't solve simultaneous equation in logarithm form. So we have to convert this log back to index. So let me call this equation 1, and let me call this equation 2. So equation 1, we have to convert equation 1 back to index. So let's start from equation 1. Okay, from equation 1, we have log y to base x is equal to 2, right? So that means we now have y will be equal to what? X squared. Are you seeing it? So y is equal to x squared. We applied law 13, converting index to what? Logarithm. Now we've gotten this now. So now because we now know y is equal to x squared, we can now substitute y into equation 2. Okay? So we're going to substitute, okay? Y equal to x squared into what? Equation what? Equation 2. So that means equation 2 now, we have, so remember we're solving this simultaneous equation using substitution method. So please make sure you go back and solve it using, review how to solve simultaneous equation using substitution method. So go to the playlist, search for simultaneous equation. We solved something like this before. So I'm applying substitution method. So I'm going to substitute y equals to x squared into equation 2. So that means we have xy is equal to 27. So we're going to have x. So anywhere we see y, we'll put x squared. X squared is going to be equal to what? 20 what? 27. So we have it equal to 27. All right. So then we can now open this bracket. So this is going to give us, we'll go to the next stage. You're going to give us x times x squared, loss of indices. So remember, loss of indices, a raised to the power m times a raised to the power n is equal to a raised to the power m plus n. So x raised to the power 1 times x raised to the power 2 is going to give us x raised to the power 1 plus 2, and that'll give you x raised to the power 3. So please go back and review the loss of indices. We talked about this earlier. So we can now say x raised to the power 3 is going to be equal to what? 27. All right. So now to get rid of this 3, we take the cube root of both sides. Okay, we take the cube root of both sides. So the cube root will cancel this 3. So x is going to be equal to the cube root of 27. And when you press your calculator, this is going to give you 3. So therefore, x is going to be equal to what? 3. Now, since x is equal to 3, we can substitute it into any of these equations to get y. So I'll prefer to substitute it into equation 2 because it looks very easy. So we have equation 2 is xy is equal to 27. So from equation 2, xy is equal to what? 27. Okay. But we also know that our x is 3. So it's going to be 3 times y is equal to 27. Divide both sides by what? 3. So therefore, y is equal to what? 9. But if, for instance, you want to use equation 1, you should still get the same thing. So from equation 1, okay? So from if you want to use equation 1 to find y, so from equation 1, we know equation 1 is log y to base x is equal to 2. So we have log y to base x is equal to 2. We know our x is what? 3. So we're going to have log y to base 3 is equal to 2. Then I'm going to convert this to index form. So that is log 13. So 3 raised to the power 2 is equal to y. So y is going to be equal to 3 raised to the power 2, and 3 raised to the power 2 is equal to 9. And that's exactly the same thing we got here. All right. So therefore, for this, x is equal to 3 and y is equal to what? 9. Okay. And that is that for that. So let's step it up a bit. Okay, let's step it up a bit. So let's assume we have this question here, number 5. We're told to solve this question to find for x simultaneously. So log x to base 5 minus 2 log y to base 5 is equal to log 2 base 5. And we have x plus y squared is equal to 12. All right, so let's solve this. So you can pause the video and try and solve this. And when you're done, come back and check whether you're correct. And if you struggle, don't worry. You can come back and press play and solve it. All right. So let's solve this. So let's see what we have here. All right, let's start. So let's call this equation 1, and I'll call this equation 2. So like I said in the previous video, when solving simultaneously, you have to convert the log back to index, okay? So let's start with equation 1 now, because equation 1 has log. So from equation 1, okay, so we have this. We have to convert this back to index. Does that make sense? You can have log. So let us solve it. So we have log x base 5 minus 2 log y base 5 is equal to log 2 base what? Base 5. All right, so the first thing we have to do, we have to combine this. So I'll take this 2 back to this place. So because I want to apply the division law here, but I have to take this 2 back. So it's going to give me log x base 5 minus log 5 y raised to the power 2 is equal to log 2 base 5. So this is logarithm law 5. So remember in law 5, I told you that if you have maybe log a m raised to the power n, it's going to give you, you bring this down, n log am, right? So now what we're doing, we have it like this. In this case, we're taking the n back. That's what we just did here in law 5. So please go back and have a look at the law 5 and make sure you know how to do it. All right, so then that is that. Then the next part as well is that I'm going to apply the division law because they have the same base now. So I can apply the division law. So it's going to be log 5, log to base 5 of x divided by what? Y squared is equal to log 5, all right, 2. Okay, so this is division law, and that is log 2. So go to the videos and you'll see division law. I'm applying law 2 here. Okay, now I can then apply law what? 14. Okay, because we have logs on both sides. Are you seeing it? Same log on both sides. We can cancel this out now. And this is now going to give us x over what? Y squared is equal to what? 2. And this is law 14. So you have to go back and have a look. So remember law 14, I told you like when you have log to base am is equal to log to base an. If they have the same thing, you can cancel it out, and m is equal to what? N, right? I told you that. So that was what I just applied here. So now we have that. We have x is equal to y divided by y, x divided by y squared is equal to 2. To get rid of this y squared, I multiply both sides by what? Y squared. So therefore, this will cancel that. So x is going to be equal to 2y squared. So now we found x to be 2y squared. So now we're going to substitute this x equals to 2y squared into the second equation, equation 2. Are you seeing it? So we've broken down, we've simplified all these logs to get this one now. So we're going to simplify this. So we're going to do this. So we're going to substitute, okay, x to be equal to 2y squared into equation 2. All right, so what is equation 2? Equation 2 is x plus y squared is equal to 12. So equation 2 is x plus what? Y squared is equal to 12. So instead of that, we're going to have 2y squared plus y squared is equal to 12. And that will give us 3y squared is equal to what? 12. Then divide both sides by what? 3 to get rid of that. So y squared is going to be equal to 12. To get rid of the y, we're going to have the what? Find the square root of both sides. Okay. So remember I told you that square root is plus or what? Minus. So this we're going to cancel that. So, sorry, I think here 12 divided by 3 is 4. I need to write it so that will save me time. So that'll give me 4. So y is going to be equal to square root of square root plus or minus of 4, and therefore y is going to be equal to plus 4 square root of 4 or minus square root of 4, and that will give you 2 or what? Minus what? 2. All right, so you have y to be equal to 2 or minus 2. So now we can now say y is equal to what? 2 or what? Minus 2. So then the next thing that we have to get is that we need to now get the corresponding value for x. All right. So we can now substitute y individually for when it's 2 into any of the equation here. So we can substitute into any of this equation here to get the corresponding value for x. Okay. So which one do you want us to pick? We can pick equation 2, okay? So equation 2 here, we have it to be x squared is equal to y squared, x plus y squared is equal to 12. Or you can use this one here already that we already have x squared is equal to 2y squared. So any of them should give you the same answer. Is that okay? So I'm going to use equation 2 just to be consistent, all right? So I'm going to select equation 2. So I'm going to substitute y into equation 2 to get x. I'm going to substitute y into equation 2 to get x. To get x. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So we had two values for y. So equation 2, what do we have for equation 2 there? We had x plus y squared is equal to 12. So we have x plus y squared is equal to 12. So therefore, x is going to be equal to 12 minus what? Y squared. All right. So, but in this case, we have two values for y. We have for when y is 2 and when y is minus 2. So we're going to put, so when y is 2, you put it here. So x is going to become 12 minus what? 2 squared. And that will give us x will be equal to what? 8. And that'll be the answer. So that means when y is 2, when x is equal to 8, y will be equal to what? 2. So that is the first pair of answers. Now the second one also we found was y was equal to minus 2. Okay. So when y is equal to minus 2, so x is going to give us 12 minus 2, all right, squared. And x is going to still give us what? 8. So that means when x is equal to 8, y is equal to minus 2. So let us check. Now, can y be negative? So let us see. Can y? Yep, you see? Here cannot be negative. Are you seeing it? So because, remember I told you the last time that you can never have log of a minus a over b. You can't have negative. So this is not possible. So y can be negative. So because of that, we're going to reject this answer, and we're going to only accept this. Okay, we're going to reject that, and we're going to accept this. All right, so we'll pick one more example, which is going to be the last example in this series. All right, so let's pick one more. So let's assume we have this question here. We have log y to base 10 plus 2 log x to base 10 is equal to 3. And we have log y to base 2 minus log x to base 2 is equal to what? 3. All right. So like I always say, you can pause the video, try and solve it, and come back and see if we get the same answer. And if not, go back and check again where you missed it. So provided you are applying the right rules, you should get the same what? Results. So like I told you in the previous videos, previous examples, that you can solve this using logarithm. You can't solve this simultaneously using logarithm to find x and y. So you have to convert all this to index form, all right? So I'm going to label them separately, equation 1 and 2. Okay, so from equation 1, okay, so from equation 1, so I have to convert this to index form. So we have this 2 log 10x is equal to what? 3. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take this 2 back. So that will be log 5. I'm going to apply log 5 there. And that will give me log x 2 10 is equal to 3. So that is the logarithm log 5. Okay. Then I'm going to apply the product law. I'm going to multiply this because they have the same base. So we have log 10 will become y times x squared will be equal to 3. And this is the product law is the first law on that logarithm, law 1. All right, so we have law 1 for that. So we're going to have log of what? Y x squared 10 is equal to what? 3. Then we're going to convert this to index. So that means 10 raised to the power 3 is equal to x squared y. So we're going to have 10 raised to the power what? 3 is equal to x squared y. And that is law 13 on that logarithm. So on that logarithm, law 13, index to logarithm. So we have 10 raised to the power 3 is equal to x squared y. So we're going to have that there. So then we can now say therefore, x squared y is going to be equal to 1,000. And we've gotten it in index form. We're going to do exactly the same thing to equation 2. We have to convert this equation to index form. So we're going to have log, we have it as log y to base 2 minus log x to base 2. So log y to base 2 minus, let me just from equation 2, so that will be easier for those that are taking notes. So from equation 2, okay, so we have log y to base 2 minus log x to base 2 is equal to 3. So I'm going to apply the division law here. So we're going to have log 2 y over x is equal to 3. So this is logarithm, the second law, division law. So you can go back and have a look on that. Then I apply the index law here, index to logarithm law. So 2 raised to the power 3 will be equal to y over x. So y divided by x is going to give us what? 2 raised to the power 3. To get rid of this x, I'm going to multiply both sides by what? X. And y will be equal to 2 raised to the power 3 is 8. And that will give us 8x. So we've gotten that. So what we can do now, we can now substitute y equals to 8x into this equation here. Okay? Because remember, we're solving by elimination method. So we're going to do that. So we're going to substitute y is equal to, what was that? 8x into x squared y equals to 1,000. 8x into x squared y equal to 1,000. So that means we had x squared y is equal to 1,000. So anywhere we see y, we put 8x. So it's going to be 8, we're going to put x squared, and we have 8x is equal to 1,000. So it's going to give us 8x cubed equal to what? 1,000. So you divide both sides by what? 8. So you're going to have x cubed is equal to what? 1,000 over 8. To remove this x, you take the cube root of what? Both sides. Are you seeing it? So we take the cube root of both sides to get the value for x. So That means this x cubed will cancel the 3. So we have x is going to be equal to, so remember in the laws of indices, I told you that square root of a over b n is equal to the same thing as nth root of a divided by the nth root of what? B, okay? So the same thing as saying the cube root of 1000 divided by the cube root of what? 8. And this is going to give us 10 divided by 2, and the answer is going to be 5. So therefore, x is going to be equal to what? 5. So we now know the value of x. So we can now substitute x into any of this equation to get y. So I'm going to substitute it to this one here, y equals to 8x. So we're going to have substitute x is equal to 5 into y is equal to what? 8x. So we have y is equal to 8x. Then y is going to become 8 to bracket 5. So therefore, we should give us what? 40. So therefore, x is equal to what? 5. And y is equal to what? 40. And that will be the answer for that. All right, so that is that for that. So that is that for this video. Okay, so please try as much as possible to have a look, practice more questions from the worksheet, practice more questions from the textbook. And if there are any questions that you can't solve, just send me a message, or you can bring it here, put it in the comment section, let the subscribers try and solve it. And if not, I'm going to intervene and we're going to try and solve it together. All right, so see you soon and have a nice day. I'll see you in the next video.